My name is Jesse Ramos Jr., and I am a transformation artist here in New York City and also motivational speaker.
Can you tell me about your own mental health journey?
Yes, my mental health journey has been quite complex for many years, especially growing up. I'm 39 years old, but I struggled a lot in my early teens and early 20s with my sexuality. So, being a gay Latino in a predominantly very small conservative town led to a lot of anxiety and depression. Back in those days, in the late '90s, it was being out wasn't accepted. So a lot of people around me formulated their opinions about me before I even knew what I was. So it just led to a lot of bullying. Obviously, we all experienced that at some point of our life. But I think for me, it it was a little more extreme because I am a very emotional person. So I absorbed everything internally, and so it formulated my reality, which led to the depression and self hate, which then led into a terrible relationship with food and alcohol. So that's sort of where it started.
Yeah, and when you're saying your name, you said transformation artist. What is that?
So I like to call myself a transformation artist because obviously, so I'm a fitness coach by the world standards, but I've been doing this for so long, and I realized that when not everybody can transform people, and you think of transformations and you see a lot of stuff online like your hair and makeup, your clothes, maybe you redecorate your apartment, but I've worked with over 300 clients, and most of them have been with me a very long time, and to be able to transform them from one person to another in real time is an art. And that's when I started noticing my clients either achieving whatever goals there are. So either building discipline, consistency, losing weight, building muscle, or even just having a better quality of life, and then get excited about it. It really fulfilled my personal mission of inspiring people, and to watch them transform is the best art you can do, because that always stays with you and it doesn't leave, like when you wash your face and you take off your makeup. So that's why I coined the term transformation artist.
How did you become a transformation artist?
So I was in retail banking for 15 years, and I live in New York City now, but I'm originally from Southern California, and I worked in banking for 15 years. I was in banking. And, when I mentioned that I struggled with my sexuality, I led to a brutal alcohol and eating disorder. And I ended up becoming, my heaviest was 255 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I became extremely overweight. I was extremely unhappy. And I remember when the iPhones came out in 2011, the crystal quality of the camera was so clear, but I hated looking at it because I just did not like the person that was looking back at me. So it was an automatic, you're fat, you're gross, you're disgusting, because I associated all of those terms with something negative. There's nothing wrong with people of all sizes. But during my tenure at the bank, I decided when I was 22 years old to start doing something about my body, because I realized that I didn't really resemble a lot of people. I was substantially overweight. And in my journey of self acceptance and discovery, I started to learn how to move my body, learn how to eat better, learn how to take care of my mind. And I ended up losing 90 pounds.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
yeah, it was amazing. It was great. And I did that all while I was working full time, sometimes 6 days a week. I was a top performer. I was a top banker. I won numerous awards. I would mentor. I would lead workshops for other associates to teach them, and I always had that energy to teach people and to help them, whether it be my teams or whether it be my clients at the bank. But when people, obviously, when they seen me, they seen a substantial change in me. So people would ask, Jesse, how did you do it? How did you lose so much weight? And I would get so excited just sharing what I did, because I wanted to just help people. I was born to serve, and I was born to lead and inspire people. So after I moved to New York City in 2021 with the intention of promoting with the bank, I was exposed to a whole different world. I'm from a small town with 30,000 people. So to go from that to New York City, I seen possibility here.
Yeah.
And so when I would see these gentlemen walking around in their suits, these women walking around in their suits, and everybody was so busy and making a name for themselves as entrepreneurs, I said, I need to do that. I don't want to limit myself here in the bank any longer. And fitness has always spoken to me. And I had a friend in California who was also a coach, and he would go into the bank and do all his business deposits, and I would tell him, man, I wish I could be a coach like you. And he's like, well, you can. But I didn't pull the trigger until I moved to New York. And before work, because I was leading financial centers here in West Manhattan, before work and after work and on the weekends for almost 2 years, I was studying. And the week after I got certified with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, I quit my job.
Wow.
So I quit with no clients. I just knew that that was what I needed to do. And I called my mom. I said, I'm quitting. And she flew over here to talk me out of it. And, and I said, there's no stopping me. And that's how I decided to do what I'm doing now as a New York City's top transformation artist.
Yeah. Have you seen your clients' confidence level rise as they go through the process?
That is that's one of my favorite factors when I'm working with clients because, you know, for me, when I lost 90 pounds, I didn't ever set a goal for myself saying, I'm going to lose 90 pounds. I never worked that way because I didn't want to add that extra stress on me.
Yeah.
I knew that I was enjoying what I was doing. I didn't have so much knowledge of what more to do. So a lot of it was my comfort zone. But I didn't want to, when you're, especially when you're trying to lose weight, I was embarrassed of the gym. I didn't want to be around other men. And I didn't want to add the other pressures. I was comfortable doing what I was doing, but my confidence started to build. I went from my mom's back living room where she had a treadmill to graduating to a gym. And that was one of the first, I guess, milestones and rewards that I see. So when I see my clients, it's like clockwork. Every client I see is very shy in the beginning. They're timid and they're afraid. They don't know a lot. And I work with a lot of executives and coaches who are at the top of their companies, or also some celebrity glam creatives that work with some really A-list stars, and they're at the top. So they come in and they're so humble because they just want to learn. They want to learn and they're shy, but once they start to see the method to my mayhem and they start to notice changes within themselves that they never knew that they had, that's when their confidence builds. And I have one client in particular who is he has a mental disorder, and he's very limited with verbal. He's not nonverbal, but he's very limited in his speech. But he's one of the hardest workers clients I've ever had. And this story reminds me of, because I also coach downstairs I live in a high rise building in New York, and we have a gym there. And some of my clients live here in the building. But this guy, he's 21. And in the beginning, I remember he was very shy. I've been with him a year now. And I noticed it, but I never said it. But there's the gym manager that is downstairs. And there was an interaction maybe about a month ago where the gym manager and my client's father were talking. And unbeknownst to me, the gym manager says his confidence has just improved so much since I've been just watching them train together. And that made me feel so good because you never know who's watching. And
Right.
even though I knew it, it's just me and my client in that hour that we're together. So I sort of tune everything out. But even the way he talks, he is, I feel strong, I feel proud. And those are words that I reinforce with him. You're strong, you're proud, and you matter. And that's the most important piece when it comes down to transforming.
I know for me, I live with bipolar disorder too. And when I work out or eat bad food, I always feel guilty. So it affects not only my mental health, but physical health. So, how important is it to take care of both at the same time?
Your physical and mental health.
Yeah.
Oh, it's they're they go hand in hand, Michael. I don't just count reps. When you're working with me in my online programs or in person, I don't, that's why I make it a point not to call myself a personal trainer,
Right.
because there's so many more elements to living a healthy lifestyle. I consider this the four pillars of health. Part of it goes back to my background in retail banking, but it's your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and your financial health. Once you can bring all those together, then the sky's the limit for you. So I being able to, at least for me and my clients, anytime there was any gaps in your physical health, once you start to bring that up, your mental health improves because there's so many factors and benefits to exercise, and everybody's exercise journey looks different. But once you start to get that serotonin and that dopamine, and you like that feeling of being able to walk without feeling winded and being able to enjoy whatever foods you would like, because there's not really a bad food, if that makes any sense. And
Yeah.
we need to stay away from that guilt factor, because as long as you're moving your body and doing things that bring you joy, then that's going to improve your happiness. And that's what we all want. Every client wants a different aesthetic. Yes, I've worked with clients and they want to be 30 pounds lighter in 3 months or have a bodybuilding physique, but ultimately everybody wants to be happy.
Yeah.
And that's what I coach.
How does it feel for you when you see your clients succeed?
It feels like Christmas. it feels so good, especially because it helped me also, Michael, because during my life, before I gained the confidence within myself, I had very low self-esteem. I'm telling you, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And at the bank, being a gay Latino, it was really hard, and trying to prove myself in corporate America, because I had so many ideas, and I know they were good because I was a top performer. My clients were always excited. They always knew that I was helping them, but I was constantly shut down, and I felt like I wasn't good enough a lot of my life. And I think that stems back from, the constant brutal childhood bullying that I experienced, and not having a safe spot. Being gay, I thought it was a bad thing. And so in my career, it followed me. So I had really low self esteem and confidence. And even when I decided to make the change to go from finance to fitness, I still had that imposter syndrome. I still felt I can't change anybody. What am I doing? Why I quit I left over $100,000 salary to start at the bottom. And in the beginning, I didn't take it so serious. But in the beginning, I was still drinking a lot. I had a really bad issue with alcohol. And I was certified. I knew I lost weight, but I still couldn't inspire change because I wasn't right with myself. And when I finally decided to put down the alcohol after my grandma Terry Leva passed away, she passed away in October of 2023. And it was like, my sister said this is the best, but it was like somebody pulled a rug from underneath us and we all just slipped. She was so young. She was only 77.
Mm.
And that changed my whole life. And she came to me in a dream and she said, "You need to get your life together, mijo." And that mijo means son in Spanish. And during that time, I was drinking heavily, even on the streets of New York City. It got really bad because she was passing for about a month. So I went into mourning subconsciously. And I woke up on November 29th, 2023, that next day after she told me this, to get my life together. And I haven't had a drink ever since. It's about to be 2 years.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, that was the
Congrats.
best. Thank you so much. I'll tell you that was the best decision of my life, was getting sober, because I was so focused and clear, and I had to deal with my mental incapacities head on. There was no numbing. There was no turning to food. There was no turning to alcohol. It was just me and the person that was looking back at me in the mirror. And that was the most frightening piece, because I live in New York City alone. My family's all in California. When you mourn the death of somebody that was very important to you, and when you do it in a sober mindset, when you've had an issue with alcohol in the past, it truly changes you. And that's when my business took off. That's when I started taking everything seriously. So I poured all of the rest. I had very little love left because my love was gone. She was already in heaven. But the little bit of love that I had left, I just poured it all into my clients. I said, they're looking to me for trust and advice. They're looking to me. And so when I was able to watch them transform and really push these people in a way that met them where they were at, but just 1%, and to watch them change and to watch them achieve their goals, it was so healing for me and my mental health journey because I finally found that confidence within myself that I knew was there all along, but it just wasn't out because I was so numb from numbing myself for 20 years. So I'm so confident in my abilities to change people that I don't really look for clients anymore. And people they reach out to me, and that's not from a place of arrogance. That's just from a place of healing. And I'm so grateful that I was able to discover this gift to share with the world and to help transform people. And that's why my mission is to be on podcasts like this to where I could share my story because I'm not ashamed of it anymore like I used to. I'm proud of every trial and tribulation that I've ever been through because it's made me who I am today and it's helped me helped others.
What do you do to help your own mental health?
I do a lot of praying. I pray a lot. I talk to myself a lot. I speak to myself as if I'm 30 years down the line. My higher self, they call it.
Yeah.
So when I'm having a bad day, which is often, I, in New York City, you go down the street
Right.
and yeah, not every day is going to be a picture perfect day, but I manage the days a lot better because I have the tools now that I didn't have. So I speak to myself often. I speak to myself as if my coach is talking to me, and I talk to myself in third person. Jesse, you're going to get through this. This is what you got to do. You got to take it one day at a time. Write something down that you want to achieve today. Give myself small, actionable goals that are achievable, and I accept what I cannot control. They call it radical acceptance. When you accept what you can't control, then that's when the calming comes in. I recently had an accident where I was injured and it took me out of the gym for a while. And it was really challenging for me because I'm always in the gym helping others. Physical fitness and exercise has helped me with my mental health as well. I'm not addicted to the gym, but I'm addicted to being a better person.
Mm.
So a large part of my healing journey has been to stay active in whatever way that looks like. There's so many different elements to exercise, but to be able to not do that really hurt me and I had to pivot. So I would journal, I would draw. I even took a class on sculpting, sculpting little figurines and doing the best that I can, even walking around, taking a walk in nature. I like to go upstate in New York and hike once a month by myself. So being in the outdoors and being able to see greenery. So like just to see something green, to touch and feel the earth. That calms me down also. I also like to do random acts of kindness for people. So it could be something as simple as complimenting somebody from the heart. Like if I'll see a woman, I'm like, oh my God, I love your hair. It instantly changes somebody's mood and it makes me feel so good because I feel as if I am creating more positive energy in the world, especially in the world that we live in today. It's hard out there. So that's how I take care of myself. I like to cook also.
Oh, nice. Where do you want to see your mission in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years, I will be on big stages giving motivational speeches to corporations, to people who want to come in and hear my message and hear the energy that I have to give. Because, like I said, one thing about me is that I've learned because people tell me, not because I coined it myself, but people do tell me you're so inspiring and your energy, I feel it when you speak because I speak from my heart. I speak when it's appropriate and intentional. I don't want to just speak just to talk and hear my own voice. I want people to feel something when they hear my voice and when they come to my seminars and when they come to my workshops. And I see myself with a large following and I see myself helping humanity, helping heal humanity and bringing the people together.
So, how can people find more information about you?
Oh, yes, they can go to my website, which is www.b as in boy, B as in boy, T as in Tom, that's bbtfitness.nyc. Or they can view my Instagram, Good Energy. I call myself Good Energy. My name is Jesse, obviously, but people tell me I have good energy. So, so I coined
Nice.
it Good Energy. But I do corporate wellness events. I also do one-on-one digital and in-person coaching. So anywhere in the United States, I'm also a certified health coach. So that's how I marry the two together with physical and mental and spiritual. So that's how they can find me. And I'm excited to meet you, whoever is looking for some help, because you can do it and you matter and your voice matters. And once you get over that fear factor that we create in our head, the sky's the limit because people need to hear your story.
Yeah.